The Kybalion is a study of the Hermetic philosophy of ancient Egypt and Greece, written by 3 initiates. The Kybalion contains the 7 Hermetic Principles, which I will cover in 7 videos. These secret doctrines, based upon world-old Hermetic teachings, help us to understand the nature of reality and the nature of self. It's important that us as light bringers understand these teachings, and not just those who would seek to control us. Hence, I give you my understanding of them. Greetings, my dears, in love and light. I'm Nikki Sutton. The 7 Hermetic Principles, the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. The Kybalion. So we must realise that movement is everywhere and everything, and everything vibrates and moves around all the time. Now, you might not think so because most things look pretty still, but on the tiniest level they're definitely vibrating. And different things manifest due to their different rates of vibration. They manifest according to their vibration. And again, here we see that the law of attraction comes into play, because things and people and events will manifest in our reality due to the vibration we're holding, because creation thinks that's what you need for your learning and experience. So everything vibrates at different rates. We see this on the physical level, and here's some things that vibrate. If you look at the electromagnetic spectrum, depending on the frequency, so you've got radio waves through to gamma rays and everything in between, like X-rays and UV rays and infrared rays and all of those rays, they all vibrate at different frequencies. And we can see a small part of the electromagnetic spectrum, which is visible light. And according to that vibration on the electromagnetic spectrum, our eyes can pick it up. But there's a lot we can't pick up. There's a lot we can't hear or see or feel or taste. So here's another thing that vibrates is sound waves. So when we perceive sound, it's actually the air vibrating, and our ears pick it up and turn it into electrical signals which are interpreted within the brain. So sound is vibrating air. Emotions too vibrate. Now listen to this. Here's a quote from a well-known website. Please see the web address shown here. It is known that the human body can generate mechanical vibrations at very low frequencies, so-called infrasonic waves. 3 types of infrasonic vibrations were registered. Waves of the first type are connected with heartbeat, the second with the human respiratory rhythm, and the third, called Traub-Herring waves, are associated with states of emotional tension. So here we see that emotions actually vibrate, and the scientific community has figured out a way to detect this. Now, this is on a mechanical level, that there's actual physical waves that emotions create, but there's definitely a spiritual aspect to emotions, something that science hasn't been able to pick up and register yet, and these vibrate too. Then there's the kinetic theory of matter, which says that all molecules and atoms are in constant motion. So you have a solid and the molecules are constantly vibrating. You have a liquid and the atoms and molecules are sort of slip sliding over each other. Then you have a gas where the atoms and molecules, there's gaps in between and they're moving around. So no matter it's a solid, liquid or gas in our reality, everything is vibrating or moving around on the atomic level. Also, heat something up and the atoms vibrate faster. And also, when we're talking about the unified field, the waves of probability that form our reality, I won't go too deep into this time, but again, vibration, there's waves of probability that manifest into something perceivable when a consciousness is there to perceive it. So why am I trying to tell you that everything vibrates and moves around? Well, it's a law of our reality that everything is constantly in motion. Nothing stays still. Like our consciousness is ever expanding, it's ever moving upward, ever seeking, ever searching. You have things like entropy, which is another law of our reality, and this embodies the truth that everything is in motion, everything vibrates, nothing is at rest. What entropy is the lack of order or predictability and gradual decline into disorder. So let's say that a house was built. Within 200 years, without maintenance and repair, it would gradually sort of fall to bits. It would have weather damage and it would just fall to pieces. The molecules and atoms, everything's moving all the time. This entropy state happens throughout our reality, that things just sort of return to their original state. So an understanding of this principle with the appropriate formulas enables Hermetic students to control their own mental vibrations as well as those of others. So the point here, like I said with entropy, because everything's moving around and vibrating, things sort of return to a sort of chaotic state. If we realise that and we're able to control our own vibration, then we are, progressing. But control isn't necessarily a good thing, but I think what we mean here is being aware. So if we're aware of our own vibration, i.e. our emotions, our well-being, and doing our healing and inner work, we can raise our vibration, and that takes us along the spiritual path really nicely. From the all, which is pure spirit, down to the grossest form of matter, all is vibration. The higher the vibration, the higher the position in the scale. So again, we see that by raising our vibration, we can achieve more, and that's kind of a desirable thing. Your more positive emotions are of a higher vibration. Love is of the highest vibration. It's the truth, if you will. The vibration of spirit is at such an infinite rate of intensity and rapidity that it is practically at rest, just as a rapidly moving wheel seems to be motionless. So here we see that the vibration of spirit, or the vibration of creation or reality, as the Kybalion points out, that all is spirit, so it's creation, that creation vibrates itself in its highest form so fast that it's practically at rest. And this can kind of be seen with gamma brainwaves. So if you've seen my video on brainwaves, I tell you all about how the electrical pulses in our brains, they have a certain frequency, so a vibration. So if you're in the beta brainwave state, you're very alert. If you're in the alpha brainwave state, where your brainwaves are a bit slower, you're a bit more sleepy in a slightly hypnotic state. And then the theta state, you're more relaxed, and the delta state, well, you're practically asleep, or you are asleep. So your brainwaves have a frequency too, a vibration too. It's the brain and its electrical firing, the neurons in the brain, and how rapidly they fire. But actually, above the beta state is the gamma state. So you'd think this is a very fast vibration. So you'd think you'd be quite excited at that point. But really, it's firing so rapidly that it's almost like it's at rest. What happens is the electrical signals in the brain, they fire all at once as if in unison. So it's a different kind of vibration. It raises to the point where it's not just a fast vibration, it's almost like a hum or something. So in this state, Tibetan monks often achieve this through lots of meditation. And so you have to be quite advanced with your meditation to achieve this state of brainwaves. And this state is associated with feelings of love and oneness. So my point here is raising your vibration to that absolute highest state where it's so high that it's almost at rest, corresponds with the truth of reality, which is love and oneness. So here we see the principle of vibration is really helping us to understand reality and helping us to move along our spiritual path and ascend. Here's another quote from the Kybalion real quick before I close. But the Hermetic teachings go much further than do those of modern science. They teach that all manifestation of thought, emotion, reason, will, or desire, or any mental state or condition are accompanied by vibrations, a portion of which are thrown off and which tend to affect the minds of other persons by induction. This is the principle which produces the phenomena of telepathy, mental influence and other forms of action and power of mind over mind. So we see from this that all thoughts and mental states are all vibrations too, and that parts of these are thrown off and affect others. So you may be realizing a lot at the moment that your mental state really does affect others, and that you can feel other people's mental states. That's being empathic, that's being psychic and telepathic. They're forms of mental communication. And by having a handle or control over our vibrations, we're able to actually mentally and remotely influence others. This is remote influencing. We can affect how others think and feel. If we realize we are one with them, we can influence how they think and feel. Every thought, emotion and mental state has its own corresponding rate and mode of vibration, and by an effort of the will of the person or of other persons, these mental states may be reproduced, just as a musical tone may be reproduced by causing an instrument to vibrate at a certain rate, just as a colour may be reproduced in the same way. By a knowledge of the principle of vibration as applied to mental phenomena, one may polarize his mind at any degree he wishes, thus gaining a perfect control over his mental states, moods, etc. In the same way he may affect the minds of others, producing the desired mental states in them. So, by a knowledge of the principle of vibration, we have influence over our own mental state and others. We can produce a vibratory frequency. We can aim for a certain frequency and create it. For example, happiness, elation and joy. It's like a beautiful musical note. Think how you feel when you hear beautiful music. Your brain is in training that's matching the frequency of that beautiful music. When you're in contact with others, their mental states are entrained or mimic your mental state. So by being aware of your vibration, you know that you can help others. Many people experience irregular patterns of emotion. By being aware of the idea, the principle of vibration, we can attempt to try and stabilize our emotional patterns through healing, etc., and therefore remaining at one high vibration. Some people, though, they can't vibrate high. They can't achieve a higher frequency because they're not aware. They don't realize about this. They don't realize about inner healing. And they just sail through life under illusions controlled by their own thoughts and egos, which totally encompass them completely. But you're aware, and I'm aware, and we can go down our spiritual path fully aware of the principle of vibration, the effect it has on us and on others, and realize that all of reality is vibrating and moving all the time, and therefore we can manifest more easily because we can bring things into our reality of a like vibration if we hold that vibration. So I hope you found that useful today on the principle of vibration, one of the 7 Hermetic Principles. Please leave me and others a comment on what you think about this. Support this Spiritual Awakening YouTube channel on Patreon and receive weekly bonus videos. You can also choose to receive spiritual guidance via email or spiritual sessions. And don't forget to click subscribe if you're not already a subscriber to receive regular spiritual inspiration on your journey through life. Like and share also, because we're raising the mass vibration together. So go now in love and peace.